is 7:01 a.m. I am Will Sutton. I have to tell you, it's Tuesday. I made it through Sunday, Monday, and here's Tuesday. And guess what? The Lord woke me up once again and gave me another day. So I'm going to have to see what I can do with it. Planted my feet on the floor, made sure I got over to this Black Talk radio station. And here I am. And hey, we haven't seen her in a while at BOK, but we see her all over the place, or we see evidence that she's been all over the place. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, Ashley Shelton.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
Well,
So glad to be back.
Well, good to see you, and thank you and your team for all the work you've been doing. And I'm sure glad that we had Jared on the other side of the glass, who I didn't hear the doorbell, but I guess he did. So that's good.
Yeah. I was like, I had so many parking options this morning. It was so cool. I said, wow.
Whole big difference when there's no school and stuff.
Exactly.
For those of y'all who haven't been here before in a long time, we can tell when Xavier University is in session, because even at 6:30, quarter to 7, 7:15,
Right.
you can't find a parking spot. So, I've been meaning to take time and look out there and see who's getting out of their cars. Because way back when I was in school,
Yep.
people weren't really trying to go to the 8 o'clock class.
I'm here to tell you that remains true to
You're
this
right.
day. Okay. I don't think you were a unique co-ed.
I'm not saying I never made it, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
Right. No, look, I understand.
You're trying to study and you're trying to have some fun. And
Yep.
8
And
o'clock,
8 o'clock comes early.
yeah, 8 o'clock at night comes around and it's like, oh, I do these couple of things. Now I'm going to go visit so-and-so for a minute.
Right. Okay. And then somebody else comes over, and somebody else comes over, and somebody else comes over, and it's a party. And at 8 o'clock class is less of a priority.
Yep. Well, here we are on this bright and beautiful sunny day. And looks like it's going to be a pretty cool day. So we're currently at about 81 degrees, partly cloudy, so it's not like burning up yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the humidity will be rising.
The humidity's what's killing me. It's so hot. Like, you can't breathe.
Yep. So it's really nice these mornings recently where we have this kind of weather. But as Ro likes to say, hold on, it's June in New Orleans. So
Right.
So temperatures is going up, and we're going to hit 88, 89, 90 degrees at some point today. Fortunately, the cloud's going to help us a little bit, but humidity's still going up. So
Yeah, no.
yeah,
That's 85%. That's hot.
yeah, right.
That is, or the air is thicker than it
It
needs
is.
to be.
Yep. So those of you who want rain, it's coming. Won't be here till this weekend though.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on tight. Look, we've got quite a lot to share with you this morning. We're going to be talking to Candace Newell. She's got quite a story. And she's state representative, and she's got a new role as chair of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the new chair of the caucus. Periodically, you hear about the Black Legislative Caucus and what they're doing. So we're going to talk with her about her journey to become chair. And who is the Legislative Black Caucus? Who are they? What are they doing? And how are they different from the Republican caucus or the Democratic caucus?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who are they? What are they doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are they working for us? All right. And how do you handle a Black Legislative Caucus where on the surface you might think everybody might be together, but people come from different places across the state.
Absolutely.
And they got some different ideas based on who's voting for them.
Yep.
So same is true with other parties and caucuses.
Yep.
And that's why you have caucuses to come together as many things as you can.
Yeah, well,
That,
and and I will say this on redistricting. I was so proud of the Black Caucus because they really led during that process,
mhm.
and held the line, and voted as a block to not support an unfair and inequitable map. And so really, really grateful, to them. And I think too, like we forget about the numbers, right? And even without the numbers. That they without the numbers to actually we've got super majorities in the House and the Senate, like they still have an impact, right? And so as we kind of all had to, we all fought and sat through committee hearings around why they tried to convince us these racist maps were not racist.
Hmm. Hmm.
This new map, and the Supreme Court made them do it. The Supreme
Yeah,
Court made you change the map that was racial gerrymander. It said nothing about whether or not you should have a fair, equitable map with two majority minority
yeah, right,
districts.
right.
And and they held the line, and so super grateful. Royce Duplessis has been a leader with us on that issue from the beginning,
Hmm.
and again the caucus as a whole, and so they
Yeah,
held the line. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
I'm grateful.
yeah.
Leadership matters.
It does matter, and sometimes it's good to share the leadership. So, hence, it changes periodically
Yep,
with the caucus, and we're going to hear from
yep. The new chair.
Sister Candace about that. Meanwhile, we are going to hear from Meta today. So,
Mm.
looking forward to that conversation. Of course, they've got a pitch that they've got some new AI glasses and all. So, this AI thing picking up, picking up, picking up. We
Yeah.
got AI all over the place. So, no surprise if their company is into technology and social media that
Hmm.
they got AI glasses. So, we're going to talk about that, and perhaps we can learn a little bit more
Yeah.
about Meta. And we're going to be talking with Team Hope as well as we go on. But you know what? We had Orleans Parish Registrar Lisa Manning Bridges on yesterday, and providing us with a bit of an overview of what happened during early election voting in Orleans. Now, she's
Hmm.
not responsible for other things,
Yep.
but there were some interesting numbers from across the state of
Yeah. Yeah.
Louisiana, and didn't look so good.
Now, people don't. It's complicated, right?
I hear you. I hear you.
Voters just voted May 16th
I,
in a
I get
major
it.
election,
Yep.
and then and I also feel like too, so. y- I mean, I was driving in today. I saw all the billboards that we've got up reminding folks that there's an election on Saturday. But you got to remember too that like who's even telling folks that there is an election besides us and a handful of other people. Like Power Coalition, its partners like Vote and
Mhm.
Women with a Vision. But when you kind of get outside of the groups that are talking about voting or prioritizing it, like no one is spending money to tell people to vote except for us and again a handful of other partners. And so it makes it, which I have to say, it feels intentional, right? It feels
Mhm.
intentional, and this isn't and what I've been able to kind of Power Coalition's been in existence for 10 years, and what I can tell you is that the machine, right, like that when the machine is not in play, it is much harder to get turnout because there's not as many dollars flowing, and that sometimes it feels intentional too, that like yeah, there's just not a lot of energy, and it's unfortunate. And and what I learned from from the governor's election last time, in 23, was that like no matter how much money we spend as an organization trying to get the word out statewide, like there's no amount of money of one organization or institution that can replace the machine, right? And
Mhm.
if the machine decides that it doesn't want to participate,
Mhm.
or there's nothing on the ballot that the machine cares about, then like it's really hard to mimic that. It's really hard
Yeah.
to create that kind of energy, unless, with like you saw with the constitutional amendments, people feel like there's a personal attack on them and their values and the things that they care about.
And now that's happened twice.
Yes, it has. And I mean, and the second time, like, it was like 78% of voters said hell no.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wild.
Yeah, and I wrote a column about that because I saw one too many black Democrats showed up kind of stories and all, and it was true. We did have more than usual in some
Mhm.
areas,
Mhm.
and that was a good thing. But when I went looking at some of the parish breakdowns on the constitutional amendments, whole bunch of pretty much white parishes said no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no,
right.
and then in some parishes, a few, it was like this one is okay,
Yeah, no,
but
it
but that
literally
but they were
two parishes. It
yeah
was only two.
yeah yeah
It
right
was only one amendment that got more than two parishes to say yes, and
yeah
the only reason they said yes was because they want their own independent school
yeah
district.
right yeah
And so it's like
I mean
read the tea leaves around, like, oh, okay, interesting.
yeah yeah so
So
I mean
it's wild, but and I think too that like there was so much happening for that May 16th election too. That like the other thing was that I think it was an indictment of this governor and this legislature's, like trying to shove this racist map down everybody's throat in the face of such, huge community outpour and 500 people at the Capitol the first day that this map was introduced. Another 300 people on the second time, and then both times kept the legislators there. We started at 9 a.m. that Friday. That was the first day they heard the maps, and then the last person didn't speak until after 7 p.m. And then it was supposed to be another hearing the following week, and it was supposed to be on a Wednesday. They moved it to a Tuesday at 4 p.m. and kept
mm-hmm
them there till 6:30 a.m. Because it's just
mm-hmm
like you're not gonna, and
right
they want to pretend like these, I heard, some of the rhetoric was like these are paid actors. Well, what's interesting is that that's a lot of paid actors. Number one, okay. Number two, when you sign a red or a green card at the Capitol, it is a sworn affidavit.
right
So like this is
right
illegal. It becomes a legal document, and
right
so over 900 red cards had been submitted against the map that ultimately the governor signed into law.
yeah
And it's like you can't deny real participation. You can't deny real people with real Louisiana addresses saying this is a problem.
right
This is
right
not what we want. And yes, the Supreme Court said the map was invalid because it was a racial gerrymander. They didn't say you couldn't have a fair map that was inclusive of two majority minority districts, which would have been representative of the black population in the state.
yep yep.
And so, sorry.
Yeah, right. No,
So,
I get
I
it.
got some
You get,
feelings
yeah,
as you,
yeah.
as
You
can
got
see.
feelings. You got feelings. You got data to back it up too.
Yeah, no, I do.
All right. So, what impact do you think the closed primaries had on the most recent election, and then the one that's going on now?
I mean,
I mean,
I think that one, it's a process we haven't done in decades. Okay, so it is confused. I think it was very confusing for voters. I think it was even confusing for some election workers on election day. Like who got like you had to request your Democrat or Republican ballot in some instances, and you had to know when you walked into the machine which side of it was going to light up for you, right? And so there was some hiccups here and there around the state, but for the most part, folks engaged, but it is a new process. And so,
mhm,
and then again, in a state like Louisiana, where we have our tease, we have an election every second Saturday. There's so many elections, right? And so now, like, it's like now folks are like, well, what is this for?
right,
And so even though we do a lot of education and provide a lot of information, probably about 2 weeks ago, I was talking to my team. I was like, hey, my friend group and my family group are like, nobody's talking about this election. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody's paying attention. I was like, okay, but let's drop some billboards. Let's create some spaces. Let's,
right.
get with the pastors for the, midweek service and, make sure that they're lifting up these elections. But I do think that, you get election fatigue. And then too, because it's a closed primary, folks aren't even clear. Well, what are we voting on now?
Right.
And it's just like,
Right.
well, now there's the runoff, right? And
Right.
and several places like Baton Rouge, there are three. There's some millages that are on the ballot, and so that's why these matter, right? Because there's all kinds of stuff on the ballot depending on where you live.
Mhm.
So
So, what about overall turnout? I hear you saying, there's reasons that people aren't voting.
hmm
Their complications, their confusion. But for
hmm
the people who are in one party or another,
Mm-hmm.
seemed like those people were satisfied to vote for whoever they wanted to in the last
Primary, yeah.
election, and then it's like my guy or my gal didn't win, so
Right. I'm
no
out.
reason for me to vote.
Right, right.
But am I wrong about that? I mean,
I mean, it definitely happens. It's a thing. I mean, I people don't realize that Louisiana voters are very apathetic voters, right? Like at the end of the day, the numbers are low historically, and it's like there are these big blips in the map when it's like Edwin Edward versus David Duke, or Barack Obama is on the ballot, or like so you can kind of follow the
yeah,
trends, but overall across race across race, I mean, it doesn't matter. We have low voter turnout in this state. And part of it, I think, is certainly poverty. I mean, there's so many different indicators that kind of drive that. But also, too, I mean, it's no joke that our election system seems to be set up to exhaust voters, confuse voters. Nobody consolidates these elections, and then, too, if you talk to the municipal leaders around the state, they love these little small elections because that's how they get millages and taxes passed.
hmm
And so, and they know it's going to be low turnout. And so it's the people that have a vested interest in these things passing that show up
those are the ones who.
versus the ones that are like, whatever. And so, I mean, I think it's complicated, right? And so I think that it's why one of the things why we exist is to say, guys, we got to show up in every election, right? Like we can't pick and choose because we've been picking and choosing, and this is how we got into this very situation where we have a governor that the majority of the state and several polls recently is unhappy with, and as evidenced by May 16th, and all of the whole state saying screw you, especially the parish he's from.
St. Martin, yeah. It was like,
I said, not
whoa.
your own community was
Yeah.
like F you.
Yeah, I had to include that one. They voted for him by more than 70%. This is our guy.
Yeah.
But on the Constitution Amendment,
Yeah.
not so
And
much.
then and then I think the thing that's outrageous is that they have 10 more constitutional amendments that are going to be on the ballot in November. 10.
And
Yes.
I was telling people several, but 10.
I think it's almost 10. And then too, and I'm gonna tell our listeners today, and we're gonna vote no on all of them except for the one to address the lead pipes in New Orleans.
Oh.
And so there is one to finally start to mitigate the lead pipes here in New Orleans, and we want folks to support that. But I'm still reading through them and trying to understand them all. But for the most part, there's no reason to enshrine this stuff in our state constitution. And there are so many other legislative tools that they have at their behest to be able to achieve
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
But when you enshrine it in the Constitution, you're not going to ever get it out, and that's why they want to enshrine it in the Constitution.
Yeah.
But lead pipes abatement, we want that.
Right. Well, we had Sister Orn from the Water Collaborative the other day.
Oh, my
Walking
buddy,
us
yes,
through-
yes.
Walking us through why this matters. Brought up that we still have a bunch of wooden pipes.
Hard to believe. I mean, like it's wild. It's
Yeah,
wild.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, and how the pipes stop at your property line, so you're not really resolving the whole problem.
Right.
And it was fascinating, and it's something that I think more people would care about if they better understood what we're talking about,
what it
and
really-
why this has to be done.
Right. Well, and I think people understand it just fine because let me tell you something. I don't know if you remember, gosh, this was a couple of months ago, and we kept having to we had the boil water advisories, and but it's like we have all become experts, and so now anytime I see water bubbling up, even though it's not gushing or anything,
right.
I'm like, somebody needs to do something because this is going to turn into a boil water advisory
Yeah.
and an eruption of
Right.
of this. So I was like,
You
I
can
don't.
see it coming.
Right. I was like, I don't even do water. Okay. Like, but I know that, I mean, but like now I know. Okay.
Yeah,
It was like
right.
now we're all becoming experts on infrastructure.
All right. Well, good. Good conversation. All right. It's 7:20 a.m. I'm Will Sutton in conversation with Ashley Shelton from the Power Coalition. Let me say that. I don't think I said that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people know, but got to refresh people's minds.
No, exactly.
They might know the name Ashley Shelton and not Power Coalition or Power Coalition.
There you go.
Let's make that connection clear. All right. So that's who I've got with me today.
Well, I'm so glad to be here.
Happy that you are. 7:21 a.m., folks, and we had a good conversation there. After the break, we can jump into conversation with State Representative Candace New, and that's her elected position in terms of the public voters. But there's another vote to get her another title, and we're going to talk with the new Legislative Black Caucus, Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus.
And it's been a while since we've had a chair from New Orleans, too.
Has,
so
indeed. So we can talk with her, find out some stuff that maybe we didn't know already. Talk with her about her journey. And should we be thinking about the Black Caucus? So that'll be coming up next. Ashley, if somebody wants to call in, what is that phone number?
Yep, call us on the talk line, 504-582-9422. So give us a ring.
All right. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. 11 tornadoes are now confirmed to have torn through southeast Louisiana and South Mississippi last week. That is according to the National Weather Service. And now neighbors in hard-hit areas are still picking up in the aftermath of Arthur. Governor Jeff Landry spent Monday delivering cleanup supplies in Avoyelles Parish as many people had their homes flooded. It is one of the parishes included in his state of emergency declaration. So he is asking people to register your damage as they continue to survey needs of families in order to get more federal help sooner. Lafourche, St. Tammany, and Terrebonne parishes are also all included in that state of emergency. Meantime, a renewed push to improve safety this summer in New Orleans is now underway. New Orleans police launched this year's Operation Safe Summer program. They say it is aimed at reducing violent crime, cracking down on street racing, and increasing DWI patrols. And that is a look for you at your Tuesday headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBOK. Have a great day, everyone.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars because the real ones always stay informed.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Transform your bathroom with the beautiful quality of Bath Planet. As a trusted leader in bathroom renovation, Bath Planet has earned the Good Housekeeping seal, a symbol of quality and consumer confidence for over 100 years. Get half off installation or 18 months with no interest and no payments. Whether it's tub replacement, a shower replacement, or a tub-to-shower conversion, Bath Planet makes your custom bath fast, easy, and affordable. Here's how it works. 1. Call to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. 2. Our design experts come to you with real samples to customize your dream bath. 3. Our certified installers complete the transformation in as little as 1 day. And right now, for a limited time, you can upgrade your bathroom for 50% off installation or choose 18 months with no interest and no payments. But you need to call now. This special offer is only available by calling 800-981-8177. That's 800-981-8177. Call 800-981-8177 right now before the offer ends.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show. Every Monday at 8 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
We have another heat advisory for areas just immediately north and south of the lake. We could feel like 105 to 110. Actual high temperatures today, 92 to 95. We will see a chance for a spotty shower or two as we get to the afternoon, looking at 3 p.m. and beyond. Any of those could produce some heavy downpours. More heat continues for the rest of the week with the temperatures remaining in the 90s. Another chance for rain on Wednesday. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reshaw.
Good morning. Wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton here with Ashley Shelton.
Good morning.
We got Ashley here and you got me here. We going to talk about voting.
We have an election on June 27th.
Thank you. So don't think you're done just because we spent a few minutes already on the show, because you're going to hear some more.
Exactly. Lots to say.
Absolutely.
Saturday, it's election day.
Absolutely. It's 7:28. You got somewhere to be in 2 minutes for 7:30. I hope you're real close, because you only got 2 minutes, and that time can go by. Look at that. Now it's 7:29. Now you got 1 minute
to get to where you get.
1 minute. So if it's 1 minute, I hope you're able to slide over to the other side of the bed. Grab those slippers, grab your drink, fire up the laptop. Boss, I'm working, so you can say you're rolling. Look, we're going to jump into conversation with someone who is familiar to all y'all, because Sister represents a legislative district, but she everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. We're ready for something else we don't know about yet. You hold on to that thought.
I'm going to hold on to that. I'll give you the exclusive.
Okay. I love it.
All right. The State Representative Candace New, welcome back to the Good Morning Show.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, right. So, yes, you are a state representative, but you are here because you are the new Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Chair.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right. And we've got on the line Katina Smothers. How are you, ma'am? Can you hear me? No? Okay. All right. Well, we'll get her back. Get you on the line.
Yes.
So I want to start with what is the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus? I think most people think it's a bunch of black folks who are elected officials in the state legislature, but then probably don't think much more about it.
No,
So,
some people don't think we're limited just to the state of Louisiana. I was
Yeah.
talking to some friends and they said, "Oh, girl, congratulations. You're over the Congressional Black Caucus." I'm like, no. No.
No, Louisiana.
Just over Louisiana, it's Black Caucus. But the Black Caucus is comprised of the Black elected officials here in the Louisiana legislature, and we're nonpartisan. So we've had a representative, a Republican, a senator and representative at one time in the past, not currently.
Yeah.
Not during my 7 years as a member of the Black Caucus. It's all been Democrats, and of course, it's comprised of the House members as well as the Senate members.
okay.
Yes.
All right. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people
Yes.
either don't know or forget.
Yes.
Nonpartisan.
Nonpartisan, yes, because
Okay.
again, it can be made up of Democrats, Republicans, or no party members.
Yeah.
And so, in that way, you all are different from the Democratic caucus?
We're different from, yes, because the Dem Caucus, that's like the macro group. That's all of the Democrats. White, black, north, south. That's all of the Democrats in the legislature. Whereas the Black Caucus, you just got to be black.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's talk about the caucus.
Yes.
Who's in the caucus? So, for a long time, when we had our groups, we had black men.
Yes.
Okay, and
Yes.
that's just reality.
It is.
Okay,
Yep.
It is.
And more recently, we had sisters in our black caucuses of this and that and business and all.
Yes.
How are we doing with this caucus, with men and women, and rural and urban? Give us some basic info about that.
Well, it's, Black Caucus is 37 members, House and Senate. We have a total of,
Go ahead.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I'm counting.
Right.
I think we have 10 women. I want to say it's 8. Help me, Ashley. You're there.
Right,
I think we
know.
have 8 black women in the House and 2 in the Senate. The rest are, of course, men. And we do have our rural areas. And when I got to the legislature 7 years ago, I didn't realize just how vastly different our state is. Because I was like, why is so much different than New Orleans? We're not that far away. Like Baton Rouge, just an hour and a half. And Lake Charles, we're not that far. Shreveport, okay, that's several hours.
Yeah.
But I just didn't realize just how different it is. And so I've learned so much from my colleagues and the thinking and the needs of black folks across the state. We are not what's that word? That monolithic. We don't all have the same
Not
wants.
just one homogenous group, right? Like
Ex-
everybody's got
exactly.
different interests. Yeah.
Exactly, because sometimes the only thing we have in common is that we're both black.
Right.
Sometimes that's it.
Yep.
But it has been a rewarding challenge to learn of the differences from my colleagues about just what their needs are across this state. But outside of us being black, we all have a need. We all have a need, and it's just been a pleasant challenge to be able to help my colleagues and work through that.
And I think too, I always tell folks that, like, even though you've got urban and rural, needs, black folks in this state, like the challenges still show up similarly. Right? Yeah, like, so even though there's some stuff that's different, I mean, in some rural places, transportation, access, just access to rural hospostals and rural clinics, like, so
the voting polls, just the access.
Look, we worked on a bit. Look, we've been trying to pass a bill to make it like you shouldn't have to go over 100 miles to get to a polling location.
Right. And we had remember that special session last year, I want to say year before, in Klein Peters district, we had to approve a change of a polling location because the bridge was out. And I'm like, you got to cross a bridge to get to I could walk to mine.
Right.
But that's not how it looks across the state. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That just helped me think of it, just another layer of the needs across the state.
Yeah, no, and what's interesting too. I mean, some of these places where you got to cross a bridge, it's on purpose because
Right.
they've changed some of the precincts right here in New Orleans where in the east, it used to be you could just walk to your polling location,
Right.
and now you crossing I-10. I was like, now
Right.
we don't cross I-10,
Right.
okay, and it's it's for the reason that that we think
exists.
it is.
Well, tell me if it's true. You have a long history with the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, unlike some other members. Am I right?
Where we going?
Did you
I could say yes.
intern?
I did.
Did you intern for the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus when you were a younger? You still a young sister.
Thank you.
When you were even younger.
Yes. When I was in law school, my first year in law school, I interned with Judge Cantrell and magistrate in criminal court. And in my second year of law school, I interned with the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus.
Did not know that.
Under
Learned something new
under
today.
the watchful eye of Senator Karen Carter Peterson. And then my last year in law school, I was Senator Wesley Bishop's session legislative aide. And 3 short years later, I ran for office.
Well, how about that?
So yes, I do have.
Always interested in giving a little twist, a little nod that maybe y'all don't know. So
yes,
and I like
yes.
learning too. So look, we're gonna go to the phone line. Good morning, Katina, Will Sutton, and Ashley Shelton. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Hello, and good morning, Madam Chair.
Good
How are
morning,
y'all?
Madam ED.
Good morning.
All right. Well,
Good
we're
morning.
talking all things Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, and
Yeah,
sister, I got a question for you.
sure.
Okay, and it's for you. All right. Because it's just what I do. I mean, I look around, I do the research, and I went to the page today. I went 2 weeks ago, but I see a different person as the chair. What we doing about
Yes.
that? What we doing about that?
Listen, we are certainly updating to include Madam Chair's photo and bio. But as you can imagine, with all the things going on in this state, redistricting and teacher pay,
Yeah.
that we've been just a little more focused
Yes.
on making sure that those things are pushed through. But Mr. Will, check the website. Give us another few days, and you'll see a big difference.
All right, because I like the idea of having a sister as chair.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
Black Caucus. I want people to
absolutely.
know.
We are
exactly.
excited.
And right, a sister from New
You
Orleans.
are about to thank
That's
you.
right. We are excited. Yes.
All right, so you brought up the busyness of the recent session. So, question for both of you. Just let me know who wants to weigh in first. What has been the most challenging thing, not for the legislature overall, but for the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, with all of this drama and ridiculousness that we have seen?
From my perspective, the challenges have been the redistricting. Number one, we've been redistricting in this state for 7 years.
Exactly.
Redistricting was supposed to happen in 2020. It was pushed back to 21 because of COVID. But then also this was the first redistricting we've done since we lost the oversight of the Department of Justice. So we've literally been redistricting our entire state for 7 years. So that's number one. Two, the overall dismantling of our court system here in New Orleans, starting with eliminating the seat of Clerk Calvin Duncan and then attacking our judges. And what I appreciated from my colleagues in the Black Caucus is that they saw it as an issue in New Orleans, but they did not see it as stopping at New Orleans. We all recognized that, yeah, it's happening in New Orleans first, because that was a part of the governor's speech when he was campaigning to bring New Orleans to her knees. But we saw how this attack is going to move on to other districts where we do have a lot of Black elected judges. So they saw that and they stepped up as in the form of asking questions in committee as well as on the floor and taking the well to make statements on the floor. After that has been, and I don't want to say after because all of them are fighting for 1A.
Yeah.
The next was voting access. We had several bills that one would have helped just this past week to expand access to during early voting to have makeup days. Remember, we had makeup days in school. You know, you had
because we had Juneteenth
we had
early
Juneteenth.
voting.
We had what was this tropical storm?
Arthur. Yeah.
And we lost 2 days, and we lost 2 days and a couple of hours of early voting. Had that bill passed, we would have been able to find some time this week to make up for those early voting days ahead of Election Day Saturday.
Yeah.
But one of my colleagues thought it was prudent for her to voluntarily defer that bill so it could no longer be considered at any point in time.
Yep.
During this session.
And we saw that a lot this session with bills from the Black Caucus.
Yes. It's an all-out attack. And so those were some of the biggest issues and concerns that I could easily point out from this session. Katina, what did you see from your aspect?
You know, to add on to what you said, I'll tell you, Will and Ashley, you know, this session weighed heavily on our legislators.
Yes.
The blatant racism, the blatant biasness every single day it took a huge toll. I think that there were many members who showed up you couldn't do anything but shake your head. But what I also want to talk about were the wins. I want to talk about the wins with our caucus members, how they showed up, stayed here all night long with constituents, stayed here with the community. I want to talk about how our community showed up.
Yes.
You know,
I shouted it. Look, I shouted it out. I said, "Baby, we had them there till 6:30 a.m."
Listen to me. We showed up and showed out, and there was no one leaving. There was no one, you know, that was hesitant to talk about what's happening in this state house. You know, the things that were taking place. You know, it was a huge show in a positive way for our communities. I think that those folks that showed up at the Capitol could see that their legislators are really working for them every single day.
Yes.
Every single day. So those were the wins from this session.
And I'm glad you pointed out, because when we're in the midst of it, we don't think of self. So I forgot. Just it was a total, you know, sometimes it becomes personal, and it has to become personal because you got to think about yourself. And I tell folks when I get elected, I didn't shed my humanity. I didn't put on a coat of armor that protects me from everything. But sometimes you're in the midst of it and you do forget like what it is you really, really going through. It's not until afterwards and you sit back and you run through those conversations that you've had, and like, I could have did this differently, but you know, I got that bar license. I gotta remember about that, or I gotta make sure I stay elected and not arrested. So
that's correct.
Well, y'all stay in session so
moment.
much, you might be safe for that. They can't arrest you while you're in session.
Well, I'm in session. I know this is true.
Listen,
but this was my worst year in the 7 years I've been there. This was, and the multiple special sessions we've had over the years. This was the absolute worst session because of the racism, as Ms. Smothers pointed out. It wasn't just in the bills; it was in the conversations that we were having before and after the bills were heard, and the strategy that was used as well by some members.
Oh my gosh! So the first day that the map was heard, you know, they closed the cafeteria. So you got 500 people plus.
Yeah.
Every committee room on the Senate side full. people all in the hallway and no cafeteria, so you can't eat, you can't get anything to drink.
They could have had Jazz Fest numbers for that cafeteria had they stayed open.
Right,
You know how
exactly.
people do Jazz Fest and operate the rest of the year off of that. They could operate the rest of the year off of that, and it was closed.
Not many people brought a lunch pail, so
No.
they would have been spending that money.
No, exactly. No, we did feed people. No, but we had to get more. We had to get 300 more box lunches because we knew that for the folks in community that wanted to have their voice heard, I was like, well, it ain't gonna be because you're starving.
Right.
I was like, it might be better testimony hangry, but we.
And it was basic things like having the hearing in one of the smallest hearing rooms in the it's just, clearly blatant racism. But then, some of these legislators would leave out of the meeting and ask, how's your family doing? While you are voting to make sure that, they won't have fair representation. You're voting to do that, but you want to know
and then
how
they kept saying, the Republican cause, they said, this isn't personal.
Yes,
and that's what they were saying. I said, baby, this is my humanity is personal. Okay.
All right, we're going to have to go to break. And when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation about the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. I am Will Sutton here with Ashley Shelton. We got Executive Director Katrina Simeon Smothers on the line, and in person, live and looking brilliant. We got State Representative Candace Newell, who is now the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus chair. All right, so I got to do another bell. Right. All right, when we come back, we'll have some more conversation about the Black Caucus, and looks like we're going to take a call, too. Ashley, somebody else might want to call. What's that phone number?
That talk line is 504-582-9422.
All right.
Give us a call.
WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
All day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. The number of Black summer associates at law firms is shrinking to its lowest levels in more than a decade. That's according to a survey by the National Association of Law Placement. And as part of a larger trend across industries, in reaction to a conservative push to end race and gender-based preferences in hiring and in school admissions. I spoke to Bloomberg Equality reporter Jeff Green, who says this decline could be just the tip of the iceberg.
We haven't even begun to see yet the impact of enrollment based on that affirmative action decision. The NALP folks said that's probably not going to show up till maybe next year's class. So you'll have the other side of that ratio affected. The number of Black people who were in law school may also be diminishing.
Conservative legal strategist Edward Blum is a name to watch here. He's led several successful initiatives to curb DEI in places like law firms. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
Hey, have you heard the news? First Pilgrims Baptist Church is now on WBOK 1230 a.m. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to hear Pastor Eugene Mitchell give you the inspiration you need for the week ahead. That's every Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Step back in time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum, located in the heart of the Warehouse District in New Orleans. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling America's story in the war that changed everything, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. It's an experience. Plan your visit today at nationalww2museum.org. World War II Museum, where history lives.
Good morning. Wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton here with Ashley Shelton. And we're in conversation about the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. We got two sisters representing the caucus. We got the executive director, Katina Simeon Smothers, and
hey y'all.
And we got State Rep Candace Newell, the new chair.
And it's Newell.
Caucus.
It's Newell. You always.
Newell, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I and you correct me all the time.
It's like once you get it in your mind one way, then you got to undo it. But it's,
I know we're here to talk about this, but it reminds me of Norman's.
Yes. Yes.
Like, come on, Norman, let it go.
Fatima.
All right, look, at 7:53. If you got somewhere to be at 7:55, you got 2 minutes and a few more minutes if you need to be there at 8. Let's go to the talk line. We're on the line with Reverend Calhoun. You're on with Will Sutton, Ashley Shelton, Executive Director Smothers, and Caucus Chair.
First of all, good morning to all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To Representative Newell, congratulations on being selected to be the chair.
Thank you very much, Reverend Calhoun.
And I know y'all was just so happy yesterday because I saw Will how he was just smiling to be on holy ground yesterday.
I was wondering how he was going to bring COVID into this situation.
Well, Reverend Calhoun, I have to say, thank you for chopping down the weeds so I could get somewhere.
I love it. Yes.
I need to get to my little question right quick.
Okay.
I know I don't have that much time.
Yeah, right.
But again, I just saw that smiles all over y'all face. Just
it was a
being
happy
on the
moment.
ground.
It was.
But
Great move.
When I look at what you said earlier, that during the governor's campaign, he acknowledged that he was coming after New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
3 times through amendments, he have tried to take revenue away from us.
Mm-hmm.
He, through legislation with the removal of the judges and all of that, that's why I look at this Crowism that's coming. In Jim Crow, we weren't allowed to vote because we didn't know how many bubbles was in a bar of soap.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's being said Crowism is coming into the sense that even if you elect them, we're going to take them away. We'll take away that vote, not allow them to be seated.
Right.
My concern is, what agenda do you know of, if you know of any more agenda items he have for the attack on New Orleans? the judicial system here. He claimed that he had to do that to reduce money. I don't see as much money coming back into this city as it once did. Doing, as you said earlier about your 7 years there, this has been the worst session. And if you could just highlight why, what is his agenda? Is his agenda just to try to get complete and total control over the revenue? I don't think it's about controlling the city. I think he's more interested in controlling the revenue that the city produces.
Yes.
So with that, again, congratulations. I'm just trying to see what in his campaign, what's his next agenda item?
Now,
what
Reverend
is it that
Calhoun,
he wants to deal or tear down in New Orleans that's next?
All right, Lord's blessings. Have a great day.
Oh, okay. So thank you for that question. And I wish I knew what his agenda would look like, because we would definitely be preparing for what it's going to look like. And this I was not prepared for the elimination of judges and a clerk's seat. But you pointed it out dead on. It's not taking over New Orleans. It's taking over the revenue, the being in control of the money that New Orleans generates for the state.
It's the economic seat of the state.
It's
irrefutable.
Irrefutable. Because one of my colleagues leaned over to me and said, I forgot what I said, but his response was, but didn't they just ask for a loan? I said, we wouldn't need y'all loan if New Orleans could keep her fair share of the taxes generated through her. And of course, he had nothing else to say, because what else could you say? New Orleans is the economic driver, and that is, I think, the ultimate goal of this administration, to have full control over that. What it's going to look like next session, I can't tell you, because what happened this session was so far outside of our scope and focus. I just was not prepared for this. Cutting judges all across the board, cutting a clerk, and trying
that
to
voters already voted for.
All of these people. And then with the change in how you unseat a judge for misconduct and malfeasance, and it's like, define that. What does that look like for a judge? And then the criminalization of homelessness. I was not prepared for these things as the attack on New Orleans. And so I can't tell you what it's going to look like, what the next attack is going to look like. But I can tell you that it's not going to be limited to just New Orleans. Our judiciary all across the state is going to be in jeopardy next session.
Well, we got to get one more question, and then we're going to have to wrap up. MFP and teachers stipends, teachers raises, vote is due today.
It is.
There's a TRO.
It is.
Does the caucus have a position? Do you have a position? What do you think?
The caucus as a whole has not taken a position, because it's so many things are different in so many parishes. Like East Baton Rouge, that parish gave their teachers a raise. So then those members are looking at, okay, my people are good, but how does this affect my colleagues? So we haven't taken a true caucus stand. My position as the chair, I sent a letter to the speaker as well as the president to ask for an extension of time to see if we can wait until we get the judge's ruling on the temporary restraining order, so then our colleagues can make a decision based on the judge's ruling. Because a lot of us, the Black Caucus, we're highly educated. We have a lot of attorneys. And so we have that fight between what is the legislative request and then what is our duty as officers of the court. Do we ignore a court order, or do we do something that we also know is unconstitutional and follow the legislative directives? So we do have that TRO. The hearing is on the 29th of June. And I asked for some more time for us to be able to turn those ballots in.
Well, we're going to see if he prefers to break the law, I guess.
We've done that
We
a
already know
lot.
the
We've
answer.
seen this. We've seen this happen a lot in these past 3 years.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what's constitutional
or not.
Or not. All right, we're going to wrap up. And thank you so much for coming in. And thank you, Ms. Smothers, for
Thank
being
you.
on the line and being available early in the morning.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for joining.
All right. We're going to wrap up and head into the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to be talking some about Meta.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can learn there. It's an AI focus, but let's hear them out, see what they got set to say.
Okay.
And we will go on from there. It's 8:01 a.m. Will Sutton and Ashley Shelton will be back with you right after the break. This is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump has awarded the Medal of Honor to 3 soldiers for extraordinary courage in combat.
Men who went willingly to the darkest and most dangerous corners on earth to defeat evil so we could live free.
The honorees included 2 retired service members and 1 receiving the award posthumously, recognized for heroic actions in Vietnam and Afghanistan. A Michigan man who films his runs says he was told to stop recording at a Meijer store in Kalamazoo. The man, known as Nino, says he was parked far from the building and away from customers. The encounter, captured on video, has sparked some online debate over private property rights and whether race played a role. And Serena Williams is set to return to singles at Wimbledon as a wild card, marking her first singles appearance since 2022. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Sometime in the 7 o'clock hour, we are into the 8 o'clock hour. You got somewhere to be at 8:05. You got 2 minutes, and you're in a little better shape if you got to be there for 8:15. Want to remind you that school may be out, but we got a lot of babies and kiddos out there going to summer camp or going to swim classes or just going to the pools, going to Nord, or they hanging out on your street or mine. So we still got to watch out for them, make sure they are safe, make sure you are safe as well. Don't be one of the crazy drivers. We're going to the phone line, and we've got on the line Katie Watson-Jordan, Product Strategy and Governance Policy Manager at Meta. You're on with Will Sutton and Ashley Shelton. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for having me.
Well, thank you for calling in and giving us a chance to hear some of what you do and what's going on. And I understand that we got some AI classes in the works. But first, can you give us a little summary about what is Meta? You know, it was Facebook. It's Meta. I mean, what is it? So unconfuse us.
Sure. I will do my best. Sure. So Meta is the parent company of some of the apps that you are most familiar with. So it's Facebook and Instagram, but also the parent company of WhatsApp. And we have a whole slew of AI models that we have put out, some of which are open source, meaning that anybody can download them, use them as they see fit, and create new things with them, and some of which are proprietary models like Meta AI. And then we also have a whole line of wearable AI. And so this is primarily things like if you've seen the Oculus or the Quest glasses for VR, and now also the wearable glasses. We've got Ray-Ban Metas, like the Wayfarers. We've got Oakley Vanguards for sort of more sporty features. And then we've got our newest line of Meta Ray-Ban displays, which are AI glasses that include a screen on them. So that you can do a whole bunch of really cool stuff using what we call a neural band as your controller.
All right.
I don't know if that's unconfused, but that's sort of what we do.
I think some of us use some of these things, and we don't necessarily attach it to Meta. Mm-hmm. If we attach something to Meta, it's Facebook. Mm-hmm. You know, it kind of depends on your age and how much you're into different aspects of social media and technology. Yep. And technology. So, I have friends, anything new, they want it.
Yeah. No.
And then have other friends that's like, I'm beyond that. I still have a flip phone. I don't need to be on Facebook. I was like, wow. Oh my goodness. But
WhatsApp might be for you then.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us about these AI glasses.
Sure. So we have a whole bunch of different AI glasses. The ones that I'm going to talk about most today are the Ray-Ban Meta glasses. And there's a couple different styles, but I think the ones that folks are most familiar with are the classic Ray-Ban Wayfarer style. And the big difference between the Ray-Ban Meta glasses and just your traditional Wayfarers is that these glasses have Meta's AI built into them. And they also have 2 cameras right in the front of the glasses and then speakers in the armbands of the glasses. And so these really function as sort of an all-in-one personal assistant. And you can use the glasses to do everything from taking pictures, listening to music, taking and sending calls or text messages. But you can also use the AI to really interact more with the world around you. And so you can do things like ask it for navigation. So no more staring at your phone, trying to figure out, which way is that tiny arrow pointing. The glasses will help tell you a little bit more clear direction. But you can also use it to say things like, while you're in New Orleans, give me the history of jazz or give me the history of the Mardi Gras parades. And it will give you some information hands-free and tell you those things through the glasses themselves.
So to use an example that more people might be familiar with, it's sort of like having a search engine on the go, where if you got your search engine on your phone or your desktop or your laptop or whatever, you got to punch it in, keystroke each thing and say what you're looking for or ask a question. But if I understand you correctly, I can just wear these glasses and tell them what I want.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's exactly correct.
Wow.
Technology.
So are we at a point where I can ask that, if I'm wearing these glasses, I can say, where can I find the best red beans?
Yeah, absolutely. You can ask it for information on, what restaurants are nearby that might have these. I think one of the things that we're seeing that is an incredible use of these is if you're low vision or if you're blind and you're standing in a grocery store, you can ask too, like, which one of these cans is red beans or which one of these bags is red beans, and have it give you that information as well. So it's kind of a supercharged search engine where with a search engine, you still have to go through and read, at least the top line of each page to kind of figure out which one you want to dive more into, which might have the information for you. And this does a really good job of sort of summarizing the available information and giving it to you in a more bite-sized package.
Interesting. So one of the things, that I see is that you guys are donating over 130,000 pairs to legally blind veterans in the U.S. And would love to kind of hear more about that. And are they getting generation 1 or 2, or what exactly is the opportunity for veterans to tap into this, this donation that you guys are making?
Absolutely. And this is a project that I'm extremely proud of and so excited about, but that's correct. Meta is giving 130,000 Ray-Ban glasses. So we've got the Wayfarer and the Skylar styles to blind veterans in the U.S. We're doing this in partnership with nonprofits all over the country who will receive sort of bulk donations and then distribute the glasses along with the training needed to actually use them to blind veterans in their community. We're also partnering with nonprofits to go out all over the country and host distribution and training events so that we can really meet folks where they are and try and get these into the hands of as many folks as possible, and make sure that they don't just have the technology, but they really do understand the kind of accessibility tools that are built into it so they can use them most successfully for accessibility purposes. We're also in partnership with the Blind Veterans Association and with TechSoup hosting a series of monthly help desk sessions so that after folks get these glasses, there's still a touch point for them to kind of check in, get help if they need it, answer any challenging questions, and have access to ongoing resources. And then we're continuing to put out sort of static resources with the Blind Veterans Association for both the people who will be doing the training and the ones receiving it, so that they have an evergreen resource they can rely on to continue to get help as they go along.
So for our listeners in the WBOK family of listeners, if they are legally blind or low vision, how can they see if they qualify to get a pair? Do you go to a store or an organization? Do you go online and say, choose me? Because I'm sure you don't have enough for everybody, but how can they get in on this as soon as possible?
Well, so according to the VA, there are 130,000 blind veterans in the U.S., and so that's how we landed on this 130,000 number. And so our hope is truly to outfit every blind veteran in the U.S. with these glasses. So if you're listening and that's you, please do reach out. The best way to find this information is to go to the Blind Veterans Association's website. You can go to bva.org/glasses, and all of the information is there. And there's kind of two pathways that folks can go through to get these glasses. The first is if you are a nonprofit in the New Orleans area and you know that you have blind veterans in your community, please go to BVA's website, and then you'll see a link to an organization called TechSoup. They are a nonprofit member organization, and they are hosting the application for nonprofits to receive those bulk donations. So as a nonprofit, you can go on and you can say, hey, I need anywhere from 4 glasses to folks in my community to 100 glasses for folks in my community or more, and then they'll provide you with more information to kind of distribute those and help train folks to use them. If you're an individual who's looking for these glasses, still go to bva.org/glasses. And if you're a BVA member, then you can fill out an interest form and get more information from them on how to get your pair of glasses. And if you're not a member, you can become one, or you can see our list of other partners who are already serving folks in the blind veteran community, and you can reach out to them for more information about how to get your glasses.
All right, so another question, whether you're low vision, legally blind, or you decide, okay, I'm going to jump in on this, I'm going to buy my own pair. Where do you stand with using these while driving? Because, texting on phones is like, no. And some people say, well, I'm stopped at the red light, and so I'm going to use it now. Or no, that's not what you should do. You should park, or you should just use it at home or in your office. Where do these fit in with kind of some of the daily things that we do, like driving?
So generally speaking, as an individual, I am very pro no distracted driving. So the fewer sort of obstacles between you and the roads, the better. That being said, one of, I think, the biggest features of these glasses is that they're hands-free. So if you get a text while you're driving and you have on the sunglass version of these glasses, for example, the glasses can read out that text to you so that you're not looking at your phone. And if you want to respond, you can say, hey, Meta, send this text, and say whatever you want to say to send back to them, with the massive caveat that folks should still be very careful while they're driving or doing other activities and making sure they're paying attention to their surroundings. One of the things I do think is good about the glasses for sort of minimizing the distraction while you're doing other things is that there are also built-in speakers in the back of the armbands of the glasses, but it still allows for pass-through noise. So you can still hear what's going on around you. So even if you're walking down the street and you're, listening to your music on your headphones or sending and receiving calls, texts, what have you, you still can be aware of your general surroundings because it's not an in-the-ear bud, which I think is a good thing.
Okay, so let's say I got a text from Ashley, okay? And so I hear the text, and I want to respond. But, she's asking me questions, and I don't want everybody to hear this. so if I'm able to hear the text and respond, but I want everybody on the elevator to hear it, how does that work?
So in terms of what Ashley has sent you, if you're hoping other folks won't hear it, you are in luck. The speakers are right above your ear, and so they are not going to be. It's not going to be audible to the folks around you unless you've got the volume at truly an egregious level. You're blasting it for your silent elevator friends.
Okay.
Now, in terms of your response to Ashley, though, if you want to respond through the glasses, you do have to say, "Hey, Meta, send this text," and then say what you're going to say out loud. You could say that quietly, so that might work if your elevator's got some music, folks are chatting, maybe they're not paying attention. But otherwise, if you've got a private message to send that you don't want to have to say out loud, that might be a good time to go back to the phone and whip out the flip phone and hit that the T9 keys to get it out.
Okay.
And so, one other question too is that, with all this technology, what, how are these glasses communicating? I mean, do I have to have internet? Do I just have to have my phone and it connects to my phone? How does it actually, how does the technology work and what is necessary for the technology to work?
So you do have to have a phone that can download an app on it. There's a Meta AI app, which is what connects to the glasses. And then you can either use your cell service or Wi-Fi as sort of the backbone of the glasses. But they do have to connect to some sort of a device for the internet capabilities. Gotcha. You can still do all sorts of stuff with them if you don't have access to the internet. So again, taking pictures or, listening to music if you have it offline version of it. But you won't be able to interact with the things like the Meta AI or asking what the weather is and things like that without internet or cell service.
Okay, so let's say I decide today, and it's like, I want these, but I don't have to have the latest version. So when's the sale on the first version, and how much can I expect to pay? And if I want to jump up to the newest version, how much would those cost me?
So there's a huge range of capabilities for the glasses, and so the range in cost is pretty wide. You're in luck. If you want the first generation, they are currently on sale for $224 for those Ray-Ban Meta Wayfarers. And the sort of range of cost goes all the way up to $800 for our most advanced, newest glasses. Those newest glasses, though, are really different than what you're going to get with the Gen 1s because they have a screen in the bottom right corner of the glasses. And they come with this neural band that you put on your wrist, and it essentially acts as your controller for that screen. So using sort of swipes of your finger just against itself, doing little tapping motions and, pretending to turn knobs and things like that, you can control different apps, you can take pictures, you can listen to music, you can play games, all on the display screen in the bottom. Okay. And I think one of the things that is most exciting about that display screen also, and kind of the world of possibility it opens up, is that there are a ton of accessibility tools built into it. So things like live closed captioning. So if you are hard of hearing or if you're deaf and you're in a conversation and you can't read lips, the other person doesn't know sign language, if you turn on live captions and look at that person, the closed caption of what they're saying will appear on your screen so you can read it in real time.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty incredible.
And I think that's a good point around all of the accessibility features. And so I know that you've got the programs for U.S. veterans, but it would seem like anyone dealing with blindness or as you just said, hearing issues. I mean, are you guys thinking about any programming that would further extend this beyond veterans so that folks can have access? Because again, I mean, 200 maybe, you can find in your slush fund, or your, this is a present for me. But I mean, I think as we get, as it increases in price for the newest version, are you guys thinking about how folks can be able to access this, if they don't have the means to be able to afford it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think this is an ongoing conversation. And from the earliest days of development of this product, we've worked really closely with accessibility experts and advocates to make sure that the ways that we are developing these features are useful and helpful to folks who need extra assistance, whether it's low vision or hard of hearing or other sort of challenges. The product is really designed to be a tool for these folks. And I do think that's also seen in the price. So this $800 model is pretty incredible. It's, by far the most powerful AI wearable on the market at that price point, especially when you see some of the new models from other companies, the other sort of wearable technologies. You're looking at more like the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 range for those devices. And so it's definitely been a priority to keep these at a more affordable cost range so that they can be a consumer tool, so that, it is more accessible for average users or folks who really need to use them. They also, these are not a medical device, but you can get sort of features of medical devices in them. So things like the glasses can be replaced with your prescription so that you can use them to still be able to see as you go about your daily life. And, we are working really hard to make sure that things like being able to replace the glass with your prescription continue to be accessible to folks as well. So it is very much at the forefront of product development to make sure that these are a reachable tool for the folks who need them.
Okay, before we let you go, I think I have a really pretty good idea about what you do, and Meta's a large company. But in Louisiana, we got all kinds of issues going on, including the data centers and that kind of thing. I know that's not your area of expertise and responsibility, but as a Meta employee, when some issues like this come up, how do you and others who are not attached to, a data center or workplace issue get people's attention for what you're trying to talk with them about without some of the other things that are concerns, or some people might say noise, but, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's a great question. Data centers are out of my wheelhouse, and at the same time, they're kind of a part of everyone's wheelhouse, because those data centers are powering the kinds of tools that make my work possible and make this kind of a donation possible. And so I think for me specifically, I really try and focus on, what's the best possible outcome with this technology? Who are the people that we can help? What are the ways in which this might be, a life-changing tool for folks? And the kind of feedback I'm getting already from blind veterans and just people with low vision, generally speaking, about the ways that they are able to interact with the world in new ways, many for the first time, is incredibly inspiring. I'm hearing from, actually, I heard from a young girl. She's in her early 20s who is having more confidence going on dates now because she can use her glasses to read the menu, and it's opened up social worlds for her. I've also heard from a 102-year-old World War II veteran who says he is using his glasses to just call his kids because he couldn't see his phone to dial their number beforehand, and it was making him feel incredibly lonely. I've heard from veterans like retired U.S. Army veteran Don Overton, who says that these have fundamentally changed the way that he experiences independence in his life. And I really try and ground myself in those things to know, all technology has challenges and opportunities. And I mean that not just digital technology, but every new advancement we make has challenges and opportunities. But we're not going to know how to balance the challenges until we understand what the real weight of the benefit is. And I think this is a program that helps us understand that a little bit better, and to hear the lived experiences of people who are using this technology in a pretty incredible, life-changing way is just a really amazing opportunity.
All right, Katie. So thank you very much for spending this time with us, telling us about the Ray-Ban Meta AI glasses, giving us some really incredible insights into the power of these things.
Right.
Boy, that's moving very rapidly.
No, it is.
It sounds like I can be a resident or a tourist in New Orleans and saying, where's the closest bathroom where I don't have to pay and buy anything?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Katie Watson Jordan, Product Strategy and Governance Policy Manager at Meta. Be sure to
Thank you all
look
so much for having me on.
Yeah, look online, as Katie said, at Blinded Veterans Association to get more information about this particular project and to learn more. I'm Will Sutton with Ashley Shelton. It's 8:25 a.m. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about Climate Hope NOLA, and you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Ashley, what's that phone number if anybody wants to call?
Yes, the talk line, 504-582-9422. So please give us a call.
WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about
all day long.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. 11 tornadoes are now confirmed to have torn through southeast Louisiana and South Mississippi last week. That is according to the National Weather Service. And now neighbors in hard-hit areas are still picking up in the aftermath of Arthur. Governor Jeff Landry spent Monday delivering cleanup supplies in Avoyelles Parish as many people had their homes flooded. It is one of the parishes included in his state of emergency declaration. So he is asking people to register your damage as they continue to survey needs of families in order to get more federal help sooner. Lafourche, St. Tammany, and Terrebonne parishes are also all included in that state of emergency. Meantime, a renewed push to improve safety this summer in New Orleans is now underway. New Orleans police launched this year's Operation Safe Summer program. They say it is aimed at reducing violent crime, cracking down on street racing, and increasing DWI patrols. And that is a look for you at your Tuesday headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBOK. Have a great day, everyone.
Late nights are made for chillin', and you can do just that every Sunday night at 10 p.m. as DJ Wick brings you The Love Zone. It's the perfect way to top off your weekend with your favorite old and new school ballads. So sit back, relax, and let DJ Wick take you to the Love Zone on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Losing a loved one is tough enough. Do you really want your family dealing with court battles and paperwork on top of it?
Whether you choose a will or a trust, think ahead. Take care of your family. Let them focus on healing instead of headaches. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Hey, Delta Utilities natural gas customers. Your new and improved online customer service experience is here. Visit mydu.com to track your usage, choose convenient payment options, learn how to read your bill, and more. If you prefer to pay in person, our customer payment centers are open and ready to serve you. Delta Utilities at mydu.com. That's mydu.com. Improved customer service with you in mind.
LifeCare provides valuable whole life insurance to cover final expenses such as medical bills, burial costs, and unpaid debt. A final expense insurance policy is fast, easy, affordable life insurance that's available to anyone between the ages of 50 and 80. No medical exams, no lengthy questionnaires, and no waiting period. The application process is quick and easy. You can even apply without having to undergo a medical examination. Just answer a few questions and we'll do the rest. With the average funeral cost skyrocketing to $11,000 and Social Security only paying $255, you need simple, affordable peace of mind for you and your whole family. Don't leave behind unpaid expenses that, if left unattended, will burden your family tremendously. Benefits include a guaranteed premium that will never increase, a guaranteed cash value, and a guaranteed death benefit that can never decrease. To find out how you can get final expense insurance with a guaranteed lifetime rate lock, call LifeCare at 800-571-9955. That's 800-571-9955. 800-571-9955.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 12:30 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Greetings and salutations. I am Edward B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
We have another heat advisory for areas just immediately north and south of the lake. We could feel like 105 to 110. Actual high temperatures today, 92 to 95. We will see a chance for a spotty shower or two as we get to the afternoon, looking at 3 p.m. and beyond. Any of those could produce some heavy downpours. More heat continues for the rest of the week with the temperatures remaining in the 90s. Another chance for rain on Wednesday. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reshaw.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I'm Will Sutton with Ashley Sheldon, my friend.
Good morning.
I feel like you've rejected me.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, it's been a while since you've been here. I know you got a day job. Really is a day.
It's been wild. Exactly. Look, look, I'm in DC doing a panel tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
So you just keep they keep me moving. They keep me moving. And I'm gonna keep making it work. Keep making it work.
All right. Well, look, we're jumping into a conversation about climate. You can't go very long without hearing somebody say climate, without you saying climate, without learning something new about climate. So we're going to learn some things about climate. Hope NOLA with Gary Watson. Good morning and welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with the two of you especially. So
all right.
Good morning.
All right. Morning. Well, when's the last time you've been at WBOK?
Maybe within the last year. Within the last year, I was likely here with Rise St. James.
Oh,
yeah. Within the last year, they would do the Rise St. James, the Chemical of the Month.
Yes.
A few, and it's still an ongoing program for that entity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's been long enough that some of the Good Morning Show listening audience might not remember. So,
yeah,
Gary, who's your mama in there?
Yeah. Well,
I love it.
Oh, I like your Big G on the shirt. Definitely. My dad's a Grambling guy. Mom's, of course, a Southern lady. But I'm Gary Watson, and I am really an advertising person by trade. It's the only thing I've done, and it's just that over the last several years, just because although I do live in New Orleans, registered voter and homeowner in New Orleans, but also homeowner in St. John. But I have spent just a tremendous amount of time paying attention to issues, especially in regard to climate in the river parishes, especially. Obviously, it's the industrial corridor and also known as Cancer Alley, which is something I probably shouldn't say, but it's Cancer Alley, and it's an area.
That's how people know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's so much more.
It truly is.
Well, and I think it's important to actually say it because they deny it. They continuously deny it, even though the data proves that these chemicals and those flares and the what's being put into the air is hurting people.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, to me, I always want to give it the respect that it deserves, which is that no, people aren't just not going to the doctor, waiting too long to get care. Like, no,
Absolutely.
you are poisoning them. And we need to stop pretending like that's not what's happening.
Exactly. That's a real thing. And my big concern with that area is that the residents, especially, they've gotten used to being poisoned. And my grandmother would say, you've sit in cat piss for so long that you can no longer smell it. And that's the reality. A few months ago, I was fielding a story. It was right after Mardi Gras, and it was for an organization, an environmental organization in that area. And they asked me, "Hey, have you been impacted by cancer?" So my initial thought was like, "No, not really." But then the real answer was absolutely. You know, my dad beat prostate cancer or beat cancer 2 years ago. His sister, my aunt, died of cancer in 2023. At her funeral, the morning, well, not the morning, but a few minutes before he walked into the church for the funeral, my aunt's husband was told, "Hey, your sister just died of cancer," like minutes before the funeral. And after that, about a year and a half later, he died of cancer, the widower. Wow. And it's just countless stories of that, and clusters and groups and families that are suffering in silence, and they've gotten used to that norm. And so that's one of the things that's kind of driven a lot of my work over the last several years. That, of course, in love for nature and the environment.
So tell us about Climate Hope NOLA.
Climate Hope NOLA is an initiative that works with Master P in tandem with his team Hope NOLA. And Climate Hope NOLA is it's a climate literacy and culture program that exists to make our community, Black and brown people, familiar with climate change, familiar with climate adaptation, familiar with how it impacts us, etc. There's a huge gap in between, the environmental movements and what Black and brown folks on the ground who live these experiences actually understand, about climate. So Climate Hope NOLA is to fill that gap and to have folks better understand what climate change is, what the environment is. And a lot of it we are practicing in some ways, but just to better understand it and understand how to adapt and be more climate resilient.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and then in terms of the programming, I mean, it looks like there's, some interesting, helping kids really understand, our teens and young people understand, we're living in a moment where we've got stronger hurricanes. Yeah. We've got heat, I think that the fact that we're not talking more about heat and what
Absolutely.
It actually is starting to look like in our communities, and also what it means for elderly and babies, right?
Yeah.
Like that, there's some vulnerable populations.
Absolutely.
And so, in terms of the programming, how do folks access, how do folks access it? How is it, how, if I wanted to make sure that I was getting involved, how can folks get involved
Absolutely.
and participate?
Well, that's the thing exactly. With Climate Hope NOLA, the purpose is to make it a part of the culture, and we are doing some pretty untraditional things in terms of traditional radio advertising on outlets such as WBOK and Q93 and WYLD, where we're constantly providing information, almost like tips, if you will, on what some of these things are. So we're doing traditional advertising. Of course, we're taking part in, sponsoring events in terms of, it could be a nighttime event. It could even be a nightclub. For Essence, we've got some programming coming up where we want to be where the culture is, but at the same time, infusing those events and starting to just kind of get that population to better understand what these words mean and how it impacts our lives. So to get involved, the idea is to just exist in this city, and eventually we're hoping, of course, with some funding that we're working on, that we can be in more places and meet the people where we are. But the whole point is to be a part of the culture and to normalize and better understand how climate impacts all of us.
So let me follow up on Ashley's question. I hear you about some of the events, different places. Here you're saying you're going to be doing some things during the Essence Fest.
Yes.
And will you all be at Essence Fest, or are you going to do Essence Fest adjacent kinds of things?
It's going to be
everything.
It's going to be adjacent events. Okay. It's going to be adjacent events. We're not officially going to be a part of Essence in any way, right. But we're going to be a part of some authorized Essence Festival events for sure. Okay. And for the most part, there we're going to do some exhibit space, and we're going to have some literature that's disseminated throughout the events. Also, where there are like in-screen videos in some venues, we're going to rotate some facts and information within those venues as well. What we have done so far is we wanted to educate people on the very basics of climate. So over the last year, we have just taken on basic terms like, what is a greenhouse gas emission? What is recycling? What is climate adaptation? What is resilience? What is, what is carbon capture? Mm-hmm. Even kind of going into some of the more
right. Well, no, because you got to connect. You have to tie the climate to the things that are impacting climate, right?
Absolutely. We have done, and Master P has been amazing to work with. He's been good about coming up with ideas, but also good about like this. He lives in California. Mm-hmm. So, when it comes to things like recycling, like disseminating that information to the masses. For Mardi Gras, we did a campaign centered and working in tandem with some other organizations about plastics and beads. Mm-hmm. We know what plastics are, but, in this space, but the average person doesn't really understand that plastic is a derivative of some of the same things as oil and gas. And we're essentially putting those things in our bodies. And once we start the conversations, we're finding that people are becoming more and more curious about what these things mean and how it impacts us. So it's been a very interesting journey so far. We're definitely looking forward to it. But we have to educate people about the basics. If you can't understand something, you have no way of appreciating what it is. And just, I think, by nature of how the environmental movement and how the climate movement has happened, there's just always been a gap when it comes to Black and brown people. But we just feel like most of the conversation, this movement is speaking to itself. Or preaching to the choir, but we got to reach other people so they can better understand, especially in this area.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's take one of those that's in the news. Had somebody asked me about this just yesterday. Mm-hmm. In the context of, well, why is this candidate saying no and this candidate saying yes on carbon capture?
Yeah.
So what is it, and why should Black and brown folks care?
Yeah,
perhaps a little bit more than some other populations.
Got it. Carbon capture is basically taking the emissions, the greenhouse gas emissions that are going off into the earth and trapping it underneath the ground. That's essentially what it is. It's some politicians feel like it's the best thing. However, they really it seems to be like a business scam, if you will, but mm-hmm. Black and brown people should care more about it, because obviously we live in areas that are mostly impacted by, tropical storms, hurricanes, tornadoes. What was it, 11, 12 tornadoes yesterday? We're impacted. We're truly on the front lines of these things that are being harmed by the environment. And also we live near the communities where some of the plants, etc., or putting out some of these harmful things. So, Black and brown folks should care most about it because we live closest to the areas of disaster.
So do you all think that, we should think about this like some decades ago, Black folks, before we had as much climate and environmental attention, Superfund sites?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Went back a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That is something. That should probably be a term that we tackle soon. But absolutely, especially in places like North Carolina and how, those, and I think that's where some of those terms came out of. It's the exact same scenario. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to have to take a break, but hope you have a few more minutes because
Yes.
I want to go beyond
Sure
that,
do.
just for a few other of these things that we can see more about how we are connected and should be connected.
Yes.
I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Ashley Shelton. We're in conversation with Gary Watson from Climate Hope NOLA, talking about some of the things what we, the Black and brown communities, should care about. Lots of people should care about it.
Yeah, because
But,
it's deeply personal. I always tell
yeah.
folks, I said, nobody cares about climate until a hurricane happens and destroys the house that you worked your whole life to invest in, and now you have an asset that is not an asset. Right?
Absolutely. This is WBOK 1230 AM with New Orleans. Just talking about
all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. The number of Black summer associates at law firms is shrinking to its lowest levels in more than a decade. That's according to a survey by the National Association of Law Placement. And as part of a larger trend across industries, a reaction to a conservative push to end race and gender-based preferences in hiring and in school admissions. I spoke to Bloomberg Equality reporter Jeff Green, who says this decline could be just the tip of the iceberg.
We haven't even begun to see yet the impact of enrollment based on that affirmative action decision. The NALP folks said that's probably not going to show up till maybe next year's class. So you'll have the other side of that ratio affected. The number of Black people who were in law school may also be diminishing.
Conservative legal strategist Edward Blum is a name to watch here. He's led several successful initiatives to curb DEI in places like law firms. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Just how badly did Trump trash the White House? Well, let me count the ways. The New York Times editorial describes the UFC Freedom 250 blood sports event on the White House lawn as a garish spectacle of American decline. The Independent News op-ed condemned the event as an unserious American cage fight. That's right, a $60 million UFC-sponsored brawl on the White House lawn to celebrate Trump's 80th birthday and a tribute to the nation's 250th anniversary. The country's 250th anniversary notwithstanding, this was all about Trump, along with the billionaire sycophants and others who came to pay homage to the would-be king. As a former CBS News White House correspondent, I'm accustomed to the pomp and circumstance of ceremonial receptions held in honor of dignitaries both national and international. But I was stunned to see the People's House transformed into a beer-chugging brawl fest devoid of class and dignity. There were fights inside the ring, and then there was a drunken brawl outside the ring that resulted in an arrest. But perhaps the lowest point of the event occurred when UFC fighter Josh Hokett stood in the middle of the ring and called former First Lady Michelle Obama a man. The White House offered no apology. Nonetheless, the comment by Hochul drew widespread criticism. The remark, of course, is untrue, transphobic, and racist. But remember, Trump has also disparaged the Obamas, even posting an image of the former president and former First Lady as primates on social media. In addressing the insults regarding the Obamas and the debacle on the White House lawn, podcaster Charlemagne the God put it best, saying, "The Obamas set a masterclass standard for decency, poise, and intelligence. And now, with Trump, that bar is in hell." This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
Step back in time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum, located in the heart of the Warehouse District in New Orleans. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling America's story in the war that changed everything, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. It's an experience. Plan your visit today at nationalww2museum.org. World War II Museum, where history lives.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called, and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now, and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-311-5977. That's 800-311-5977. 800-311-5977.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Show. We appreciate you all who have been in tune since the 7 o'clock hour, and now you're deep into the 8 o'clock hour with us. And don't worry if you are just tuning in. It's perfectly fine because I'm Will Sutton, and with me is Ashley Shelton.
Good morning.
Power Coalition. And we're in conversation with Gary Watson from Climate Hope NOLA. We were talking about some terms and some things that people might hear. And during the break, you brought up one, data center.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A lot of people hearing about that.
Yeah. It is.
What are we talking about?
It
How
is
are you connecting this to climate?
It is the topic, and I'm just going to read this just from Team Hope's social media. A data center is a building filled with computers to store, process, and share information. Every time you send an email, stream a video, use a mobile app, shop online, use artificial intelligence, a data center makes it likely to happen, and it's working behind the scenes generally. There are, of course, just like everything, pros and cons to data centers. With Climate Hope NOLA, we're not in the place of trying to persuade you one way or the other. We just want to show you the objective information. So some of the pros of a data center includes it brings economic development and investment. It creates jobs. It's tax revenue. It supports innovation. The disadvantages of data centers include that they require large amounts of land, large amounts of electricity. They use a lot of water to cool the facilities. They raise land use concerns. They generate tons of noise. They generate tons of light pollution, and also it impacts nearby community and all means of local infrastructure. And this information is brought to you by the Climate Hope NOLA and the Deep South Center for Environmental Justice. So data centers, it's the hot topic. St. Charles Parish, less than 30 days ago, adopted an ordinance to govern data centers. It's the first parish to do it, really, at least in Southeast Louisiana. And they just put some rules in place. They are not necessarily encouraging data centers, but they are in a position to do some permitting if data centers want to go into that area. They include the traditional things like buffer zones, similar to the way industrial facility or petrochemical facility would be governed. Green spaces, beautification, etc. So, lately I have been getting, I've got an email account, data, and the clouds. We thought those things had no limits. But now I'm getting, I think it's a Yahoo account where they're asking me to pay like $4 a month just to continue my service with this particular account, because the amount of data that I have, I think I have 30 days from now to agree to pay $4 a month moving forward. If not, I won't have access to that email account within the next 60 days.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
I haven't thought about that.
It's all becoming finite.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
But I think too that the thing that we also have to talk about is just the impact of these data centers on
Yes.
our communities. And so, I think that folks are we're gonna have to have some real conversations about how
Yeah.
we balance our our thirst for all things social media and internet with the reality. Do you want to pay $8 a month so that we can power the Meta data center? And I mean, they're creating 3 nuclear plants to power this data center that is coming to North Louisiana. And at the end of the day, the water, first of all, Richland Parish, they already have water issues.
Yeah.
And so if your water's already brown, I hate to tell you, I don't think a data center is going to make it better. Right? And I know it's just like, and if we're, seeing all of these issues with how it's been playing out in Memphis and other communities, there's some real, I appreciate the impartial information, but I certainly could speak to the realities of what this always looks like, in particular in Black communities. Is that they're always putting these things in our communities and then saying, well, why do we choose to live there?
Absolutely.
I was here. What are you talking about?
For 300 years, longer than the country has existed.
Right.
I can say John the Baptist Parish. The parish, was created years after the church was there. Church was there 1770. That's older than America. Just a little fact.
Well, we're going to have to wrap it up and make room for the front porch. Gary, thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you, Ashley Shelton,
Glad
for
to
gracing
be here.
me and us with your presence and your knowledge. Before we go, of course, voting.
Yes, we have an
Is
election.
this week
Yes, Saturday.
and Saturday. I like to remind people, just because early voting's over doesn't mean voting is over.
Yep.
Because we got an election on Saturday. But meanwhile, people can vote right now.
Yes, you can
If you've
request. Yes, you can request a mail-in ballot. Today is the last day to request it.
Yep.
Mail-in ballots are due and have to be postmarked by the 26th. And so even if you miss the early voting window, but you're going to have something to do on Saturday, I just saw on Will's screen that there might be some rain, some intermittent showers. And so again, if you feel like that's going to be an impediment, then use all the tools. And
Absolutely. And as you like to say, you can pick your weather.
Yes, you can pick your weather, and you can download
pick your weather in the living room, in the kitchen.
Yes, and I invite folks all the time. Go to our website at powercoalition.org and download a sample ballot so you know what's on the ballot in your area.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us right now. Lord willing, I'll be back again tomorrow morning. It's 9 a.m. Got to make room for the front porch coming up next. After that, Tyrus Smalley and, of course, G-Man with the reality check. This is WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
Aww.